And we are live.
Live, it's official.
I know.
Hey,
it's
we
official.
are live. Good watching you.
2 weeks in the workings.
All right.
So, Marco, as I asked you earlier, I'm sure a lot of people like myself are wondering what exactly is wholesale retail real estate. Sorry.
So wholesaling is it's kind of like in the real estate world. You have a couple different niches. One of the niches is investment real estate, and then within investment real estate, there's a few niches within that, like renting or flipping. Well, one of those niches is actually wholesaling. And the way it works is you basically get in contact with a motivated seller. Maybe they're motivated because of financial reasons, they're behind on their payments. Maybe they inherited a house that they can't afford, or they're motivated because the property is distressed in some capacity where there's a hole in the roof or the foundation's messed up and they don't have the money to fix it. So they want to just sell it for cash as is the way it is. Well, in the retail market, working with agents, those houses need to be like move-in ready for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So we work with motivated sellers, and we'll contract properties at a discounted rate. So as an example, if the house is worth $100,000, we'll contract it at $60,000. So there's a $40,000 spread there.
Okay.
Then we'll go find an investor, and we'll say, hey, Mr. or Miss Investor, we have this house. We'll sell it to you for $65,000. They buy it. They buy it, and then that spread between the 60 and 65, that $5,000 spread is what we get paid. So it's actually a win-win-win across the board.
Okay, so 65,000 the investor has to put into himself.
So 65,000 is what the investor would pay for the house.
Mm-hmm.
60,000 of that number would go to the seller, which was the original agreement.
Okay, so and then you get that 5,000 of that
Exactly.
60,000. Okay.
Correct. It's like our fee that we get for
it's our assignment.
Hillary, you gotta talk closer into the mic.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we
guys.
gotta hear your sultry voice.
It's weird hearing myself.
Yeah, well, if you don't hear yourself, I don't know, it's strange. If you just have the headphones on, like for me, it lets me know that the audio is properly recording, because this is going inside the loop and then coming back out.
That makes sense.
Oh, now you sound good.
But back to what you were saying, Heather.
I was just saying it's the fee that we would get for putting all the pieces together. So we bring the deal to the investor, so they'll pay that $5,000 or whatever it is that you negotiate, and it's still a good deal for them because they're still getting it at a great price.
Okay, and I saw that not only are y'all one company, but you're two companies as well? We
are. So the wholesaling is our Hilco Homes company, and that's strictly wholesale. We do have another company called Bella Buyers where that's just our personal company. I mean, Hilco is as well, but we have team members that help us with that company. But Bella Buyers is just ours that we do all of our investment portfolio stuff through. So that's where all of our buy and holds are. All of our rentals are under Bella Buyers.
It's when we act as the investor.
Okay.
Right.
So not only the wholesale's real estate for people, but you're also the investor as well.
Correct.
What was I gonna say? Let me look at my notes real quick. What are your typical clients? Like, is it do y'all want to speak about that or not?
Oh,
really?
Of course. You can ask us any question. We're ready to go deep.
I'll just let him answer that.
So on the wholesaling arena, we have two major clients. One are those people that have that house that they don't want. Like I said, maybe they inherited the house. Maybe they're going through a divorce. And maybe the house is in major disrepair. Maybe they don't have the money to fix the house. Maybe they're about to go through foreclosure. And they need to get out of this house, and they need to get out of it quickly. But additionally, they need to make some money. Some people, maybe their life savings is tied up in this house, and they don't have a way of getting it out.
So, when it comes to stuff like Hurricane Katrina, like the past hurricanes that we've had, like do a lot of people such as yourselves would be able to step into those situations that people are trying to sell their damaged, flooded homes and all that?
Yep. So like Houston, they got hit by the hurricane. There's a ton of not only investors, because investors are already doing this as well, but a lot of wholesalers that have kind of come out of the woodworks to, it's kind of just opportunity, and it's just like business. And so these people have come to, see if people want to sell their houses, because a lot of them either they got an insurance check and now they just want to get out of the house and be done with it. But then those investors can come in and they can buy the property, pay off the seller, and now they're the ones that are renovating and bringing the houses back up to their former glory, doing those rehabs. I mean, a lot of these houses are houses that are the problem houses in the neighborhood. They have overgrown grass. Maybe there's been all kinds of trash. Maybe there's tons of vandalism in this house because it's been vacant for years. So by helping to find these houses and then move them to the investors, which are our second client, they can come in and do the revitalization, make that house shine in its formal glory, and then additionally have a new family move into that house and better the neighborhood overall.
Awesome. What neighborhoods? Sorry, I'm a little tongue tied. What neighborhoods have y'all worked in?
Oh, everywhere.
Everywhere from the east, south.
I mean, there might be like one or two or neighborhoods that we might stay away from, but we will get houses wherever we can get them, as long as the numbers make sense.
Yeah. Which area do y'all find in the city that could really benefit from a little, basically flipping houses or renovating homes and old buildings?
Flipping houses. I mean, the hot spot right now is Dignity. There's some gorgeous houses over there that just need some love and TLC, and you can resell them for very expensive. Dignity is an awesome spot.
Where is that exactly?
East side.
Near
the Alamo Dome.
Okay.
And it's most of it's too, and it's historic, right? So there's some great streets over there, and we like to drive that area just to like look at all the houses. Man, one day if we could, buy this house. We found one that was vacant, and Marco went into it, even though you're not really supposed to trespass, but he was saying
I'll do what I gotta do.
There's like 2 staircases in the house in separate parts of I think one was in the kitchen, and it looked like whoever had owned it was trying to rehab it, but probably got stuck on funds or something because it never completed. But it was a pretty awesome house with like wraparound porches and everything.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, I believe like the east side, if a little renovation here and there, I don't think the people have to go anywhere. It just renovate and just bring a different side to our city over there.
Oh, there's been all kinds of change that's occurred over there. I mean, there's a big Airbnb now movement in that area. So the city right now is actually voting on regulation around that.
I read about that, and a lot of the homeowners are saying that, or the ones that do the Airbnb are saying that they don't need those regulations, that you're just going to scare Airbnb away from San Antonio. But it's the homeowners that don't do Airbnb are worried about the degradation of the neighborhood going down because you're constantly having tourists going in and out of the neighborhood.
Well, overall, I mean, it adds a lot of positivity. Obviously, whenever you go in any direction, there can be some negative side effects. However, the east side has been a dilapidated, struggling, sore point of the city for decades. And there's a reason they were trying to build the AT&T Center over there, is because they were trying to get momentum and growth on that side of the city, and never happened.
Well, you got business growth, you got commercial growth,
right? And so that's where by having all these investors coming in and revitalizing these houses, it now promotes people that want to buy and live in those houses, which then kind of just starts this cycle that now businesses want to go in because there's people in there, and it just, and most of the houses over there are run down, really bad shape. A lot of vacancy houses are over there. Probably the highest percentage of vacancy is over there. But when investors go in and kind of do the rehab and those type of things, they're fixing up houses to premium levels and then finding good families to either buy them or rent in those areas. Some people also do the Airbnb thing, but overall, if you drive there compared to over what it used to look 3 years ago, dramatic change.
Well, just this whole city in general. You drive anywhere in the last, compared from 10 years ago to today, it's very different.
We love San Antonio.
Yeah.
We love the Spurs.
Yeah.
Go Spurs, go.
Yeah.
Hopefully they win tonight, but it's going to be a tough game either way.
Yeah.
Shoot. Okay, we got plenty of time. Is there when it comes to tax purposes, is there any special taxes that you have to do in order to make these wholesale an actual thing, or is it
That's
just?
a great question. Actually, for wholesaling, I don't think so. There's really nothing specific about that. But as far as investing goes, if you're trying to just flip properties, then you're going to have a higher capital gains tax to pay versus if you're considered an investor, which is where you're going to hold a house or a property for at least a year and like have it as a rental, then you'll have a lower percentage of capital gains tax. So in our strategy with our Bella Buyers company, where we hold all of our investment properties, we hold everything for a minimum a year because we can prove to the IRS our intent was to keep them as a rental. And we can prove it by having the lease, show them like this is the time frame we've had it. This was the signed lease, tenants moved out on this date, and then after the year point, then we might sell them. So right now, we're actually coming up on a couple that are almost out of their lease, and so we're considering selling and capturing that equity to move to the next thing. So definitely.
The capital gains tax drops if you hold it for a year, like she mentioned. All these properties have property taxes, so obviously we pay all of that. And we look at that when we're doing our calculations to see if we want to pursue the property.
And then you calculate how much taxes are going to be the following year, or how much the taxes are going to go up because of all the improvements that you've done to the house in general.
Right. And we go through we go through that process. We also, for our properties, we actually protest our taxes as well.
We hire somebody to do it.
Right, and we do, but it's mainly for that first year because when we acquire them, because when they roll out the tax values, they do it as a blanket, for a large area.
Yeah.
And the properties we're buying are nowhere near the average or in the high end of the properties. They're the ones with like holes in the roofs and messed up foundations and stuff. So we take a lot of photos of our properties. They take that information on top of what we paid for them, which in a lot of cases is significantly lower than what it's tax assessed at. And then they'll give us a reevaluation. So we do that every year for our initial purchases.
Wow. That sounds very complicated.
Oh, that's why we have somebody else do it.
We hire somebody to do it, and then if we get money, or what is it? If we get money back or a discount or it comes down lower, then he takes half of that. Mm-hmm. So we get money back. So it's like his fee is just whatever he saves us is like half of that percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to read more about that or just get more information.
We can give you our contacts.
Yeah, you can look at it here because I'm sure it's going up and up every single year.
Oh, yeah. How long ago did y'all start Hilco?
Well, we technically started the company in 2014, but we were both working our full-time jobs. Mm-hmm. I was working as a project manager at a company that had nothing to do with real estate, and Marco was actually working as the head acquisitions person at a real estate investment firm here in San Antonio. But then nothing really took off in those 2014 and 2015 because we were just so busy with all of our other jobs. So we had a lot of expenses those years, but no income because at the end of the day, there was just no time left over to try and do any of our own investing. So
she's really expensive.
No, we'd both get home at 7:30.
She just has very good taste.
Yeah.
Yes, I have great taste. But we would get home, at 7 o'clock at night after work, and then have very little time to do anything. So, nothing really came of it. And then at the very end of 2015, I had decided I was going to quit my job, and he was full support of that. I didn't know at the time what I was going to do, but I was going to do something, just not work. I was not happy where I was. I was good at what I did. I just wasn't fulfilled by it. And then we got married at the end of the year, and we took our honeymoon in October of 2015, and we were sitting by the pool, and he looked at me and just said, I want to quit my job too. Let's do this full time. And I was really nervous. We just got married. I quit my job. We had actually just found out a week before that I was pregnant with our first child. So I was there's all these big life changes happening literally within just a couple of days of each other. So
it's go big or go home.
So he wanted to quit his job, and he was the only one making money at that point. I had fully just not been working anymore for a couple of days. So I was a little nervous, but at the same time, very excited as well. So he quit his job in the end, so around November, Thanksgiving time of 2015. And then January 1st of 2016, we took off running. So we've been doing this full time since the very beginning of the year.
We actually bought our first property January 1st, 2016.
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, that's just awesome in the sense that y'all didn't like y'all's jobs that y'all weren't working for. Just that it wasn't making you happy anymore. And then y'all actually took the chance. Like, y'all took that feeling. Like, I'd rather be happy than have some job security at a
Right.
place. Like,
It was hard.
High
Marco
five,
was
babe.
well. Marco was more used to it because when I first met him, he was working for himself, doing strictly wholesaling by himself. So he's already kind of known what it's like to not have that consistent income.
I had a little bit of a head start.
He had a head start in a lot of areas. He'd been doing he was in the real estate world for like at least 10 years. He was a realtor, been an agent for investors, so he knew how to put together investment deals. He knew a lot about private money and all this other stuff. So I had to like catch up. So a lot of the beginning of our business, I guess, was me catching up with reading and immersing myself into everything
Now
I
I'm trying
could.
to keep up with her.
yeah, all your downtime just pretty much goes to researching and developing your product. And
Exactly.
then if you got
We're
extra...
working all the time.
We work all the time. We'll go home tonight. We'll hang out with our daughter for like a little bit, put her down for bed, and then we'll be working again. Once we get into bed, we'll both have our computers and work. I mean, I can't say I do it every night. Some days I'm like, I need a break. Well, I'm also pregnant again, so I'm like, some days I'm just thank you. Some days I'm just like, I need to like just relax for a little bit. But he's every day working at least.
Gotta make it happen.
I'm sure y'all will. Another question I had. Sorry to keep changing.
It's all good. We got you. We got you.
Is there anything someone would need to know about for legislation for rights to the land that they purchase?
No, not really. I guess one of the main things you can get is a survey.
Mm-hmm.
So a survey is you would hire a surveyor to come out to a property, and then they would they're the ones that kind of measure out the land, find out where your house is on the lot that you own. When you purchase a house in a neighborhood, everything is pretty cookie cutter, but there'll be different components or sections of your land, usually towards the edges, the back, or the sides, where there's what's called easements. And those easements are used for utility companies like water, electric, or even cable companies, those type of things. And there may be restrictions on how much you can add to your property. If you decide to put a shed in your backyard, you can't cover those easements or block the access points for those type of items. But the main thing you would need to acquire to assess that is a survey. But aside from that, from the land, we're typically buying houses in neighborhoods, so there really isn't much to be too concerned about in that realm.
I had a side question. Maybe y'all know. When y'all are redeveloping or renovating these homes, is there a way that you could rezone it and make, let's say you have a house in the middle of the neighborhood, is there a way to make that rezone into like a commercial building? I know probably given the homeowners association and maybe possibly what city regulations are in place.
If you're in an HOA, the answer is probably no, because they have a lot of, rules and regulations. Typically the houses we get for our wholesaling company they're not in HOAs because they're on the lower end of, they're just not in HOAs. You might be able to, like we have driven across, some neighborhoods where there will be a church in the middle of the neighborhood and you can tell it once was a house. I'm sure there's ways to rezone, but you'd have to go through a lot of city permits and hoops and stuff to get to that. I don't know. We've never tried to rezone.
Yeah, I don't know the intricacies of that. There are different classifications within residential and within commercial, so you can kind of go up and down within that, but it's all through like an application process and approval and such. For us, there's no true benefit for what we do. We mainly are keeping rental properties, so we just keep them the way they're zoned residentially. They're usually neighborhoods, so.
Yeah, I was just asking because in Australia, you would come across neighborhoods that would have like a house that was converted into like a little cafe.
That's cool.
That's fun.
And they'd just be in different parts of like the city, the suburbs of the city. And I was thinking, well, that'd be like a cool idea to start in the States, but given like in my head, I'm already thinking of all the rules and regulations that we have set up for housing and zoning a property. I think
Houston has more flexible zoning rules when it comes to it compared to like.
And maybe Austin, because just
I
this
don't know
last
about
weekend when we
Austin.
were driving through Austin, there was just a lot of what looked like actual houses but they're like coffee shops or, restaurants or whatever. So I don't know. It's probably different everywhere, honestly. When we've driven through neighborhoods, I've seen churches and daycares mostly that have.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But I've never seen anything out there like a grocery store or.
But again, those may or may not have approval. Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it has to if you really want to do it, you're just gonna have to do some digging into the. I guess where would you go?
Probably where you pull permits downtown. There's a particular office for that. Where, like, if you are doing electrical work or plumbing work, you have to pull a permit. I think that's also the zoning. Okay. It's also same building for billboards and stuff. I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow.
That was almost musical right there.
It was. You gotta get a permit for basically everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad and annoying. It's just a way for the local government just to get a little fee off of whatever development you're doing.
Yeah.
You can't even get billboards easily these days. We tried looking into it. We found a piece of land we really wanted that was available for sale. And so I was like, great. So now let's like buy it and then advertise on it. And there's all these restrictions on it. You can't even like do what you want with your own piece of land.
What is the restrictions?
Apparently you kind of have to like know and have an in with the billboard companies. And they basically say in order to put one up, you have to take two down, right? So it's like, how do you do that? Because that means you have to take somebody else's billboard down, but you probably have to like, I don't know. The whole thing just didn't make sense. We spent like a whole day.
It sounds like a bidding war. Pretty much.
It's like you have to know somebody.
It's like the billboard mafia.
It is. And we went downtown. We went to that building he was just referring to with the permits, and we spent like all day one time, like trying to figure out how to do this, and we just kind of left with like, this is like impossible. They make it so difficult.
You can put a billboard up on the land that business operates on if that billboard's for that business.
Okay.
So if that business is on that land, you can put a billboard up. That was like pretty straightforward. But if you wanted to put a billboard up where the business doesn't operate, even if it's like a lot across the street, that technically wouldn't qualify. Then there was like all these rules about it. So we gave up on that one.
It was like, let's table this for another day when we have more time.
One day, and I was gonna. I read through all the regulations.
I was like,
this is too difficult to fight.
Were y'all just trying to get a standalone?
We found a great spot of land that had a lot of traffic, and we were like, we could buy this, and it was available, which was crazy.
Yeah. It
was like available for like $7,000, and then I was like, let's just put like, I don't know if you know over where the McNay is, they advertise with like a 4-sided cube. I was like, let's do something like that, or like a 3, because it was like on a piece of triangle land where there's streets all around it. I was like, let's get something like that, build something like that with like a 3-sided advertisement, and they were like, no, that's technically considered like billboard style. So,
but yeah,
like, but it's my own piece of land.
But come voting season, those type of billboards can go up anywhere.
There's a lot of
signs go up everywhere, and that's okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of cold shoulder on certain things, or a blind's eye rather.
Yep.
What has been the most thrilling thing for y'all since starting this business up?
Thrilling. I don't know. One of the things, I don't know if it's thrilling, but I really enjoy spending my time with Marco.
That was my answer.
Liar.
No, I was going to say that.
Well, a lot of couples they like their time apart, so they're like cool with both going to their own jobs, and then they just don't want to be around each other all the time. But we are together like 98% of the time, and we actually get along really well. So I don't know. Like I said, I was scared when we went down this path, just financially mostly, but I was very excited to be with him every day. And since having our daughter, it's been nice because we've been raising her together. It's like literally a 50-50% partnership in the business, 50-50 in marriage, and 50-50 in parenting.
That baby is really loved.
She's very loved. She gets equal time with both of us, and I think that makes her so much happier in the long run that she gets time with him and time with me.
As a person, you're a product of the 5 people you're around the most, your closest friends or family, whoever's in that 5-person circle. And fundamentally in life, your biggest decision is who is your partner, your life partner. And so for us, this was a really big decision. It's very special that we get to build this together. So I completely agree. But to add on top of that, the fact that we're outside of the typical job mantra that
Mhm.
we all kind of are taught from a young age. You know, a book that really changed my philosophy on that when I was younger was Rich Dad Poor Dad by
Mhm.
Robert Kiyosaki. It really shifted my mind when it came to how to think about money. But conversely, money is such a dominant topic in people's lives. So it really was a way to kind of reflect on how I wanted to build my life. So it's kind of a special thing that every day we get to work on something and grow something that is kind of a part of us, that is birthed from us in a sense. And you know, that's a special thing. So that's pretty exciting.
Two books that I also think that you might enjoy is one, Jordan Peterson, kind of controversial depending on what side you want to take. I just think he just doesn't take neither side. He just kind of
Lays out the
walks.
facts.
Yeah, he just lays down the facts and then he interprets them according to what is already known. But his book, 12 Lessons to Life, I thought it was
That
pretty
one
good.
just came out, right?
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet, but I know of it.
It's pretty good. Uh, and then also, I always get it mixed up. The Art of War.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, by Stephen Presley.
Art of War.
Yeah, it's...
We'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, I'll have to look at it.
Oh no, sorry. The War of Art.
The War of Art.
Close.
The War of Art.
The War of
Sorry,
Art.
the
I've
Art of
definitely
War.
heard of
The
that
Art
one.
of War is the Japanese.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, and then but the War of Art is a
War of
book
Art.
about a writer. He describes about certain, what do you call those? He called them not a distraction, but like a habit. It was a bad habit that you had
Oh yeah.
that you were always trying to.
That you're in war with, in a sense.
Yeah, that you're
Saboteur.
trying to create art, but you keep distracting yourself from accomplishing the task. And he doesn't explain how you should do it. He just explains like what he did. And one of the main things that he did was just once he realized that he was not doing what he wanted to do, he immediately stopped. Let's say he was out for a walk or something, he went straight home, started writing. If he was listening to music and he realized it, he stopped listening to music and just started writing.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's a pretty good book, The War of Art. I think y'all would like it just because of the type of workflow y'all like to do and the attitude I sense from y'all. Like y'all really love what y'all do and y'all just want to be more focused on being more successful. I think that's awesome.
Let's put that on our book list. We have a long book list of like
Yeah.
someday.
War of Art.
I always reference it when it's time to get him a gift. So like Father's Day is coming up.
Well,
All he ever cares about is books. So every Christmas, birthday, whatever, all he wants is books, and I share it with our family. So I'll have to put that on there.
I was gonna say audio audiobooks.
Mhm.
It's perfect. Like if you're always on the go
Totally.
and you just don't have time to sit down and read everything, just audiobooks, just listen as you go. It's
Especially like when you're driving around and stuff.
yeah.
That's like the perfect opportunity.
I drive around a lot, so that's why I'm able to finish, like, if I really wanted to, I could finish a book in 2 days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You do drive a lot.
Yeah. Just the nature of my job just
Yeah.
takes me out to South Texas, and I have to visually look at some things and sometimes test and report things.
That's awesome.
But I enjoy the aspect of just being out, not being in a cubicle office,
Sure.
because that would get to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it probably did to y'all, just going to one place every day, day in, day out.
That's one of the reasons why I was ready to part from my past job before we decided to do this together. So it's exciting because we do have an office space, but we're only there like twice a week when we have childcare. But I like it because if I can be there some of the time, it's nice because I can focus, and it's a different environment than if I'm home with my child who's like wanting to sit on my lap or like having a fit. So it's like, it's nice because every single week is a little bit different, and every day is just totally different. Like some days are running around all day getting errands done, even if it's just business stuff. We have to go to the bank or by the post office or by one of our properties.
We're not in the studio every day.
Yeah, or
hey, neither
we're
am
here in the
I.
studio.
I wish I was in here every day, but it doesn't pay the bills.
Yeah, but I like working because I know we're doing it for ourselves, and so and every day is different. So it's not like, I used to have like that dreadful feeling on Sundays, like, oh, the weekend's over, I have to go back to work, and having to request time off just to go to a doctor's appointment or something or vacation. But now it's like,
yeah,
we can create our own schedule, so it's so much better.
I'm sure like that's everyone's dream,
Yeah.
basically what you're saying, and I'm pretty sure there's nothing like the enjoyment of just working from home from time to time.
Yes, I like some days when I can just wear pajamas all day.
Especially spending time with your child.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big part. That's really special.
It is fun to just see her growing. I feel like I don't want to miss out on that. And every day she's, growing a little bit more and saying new stuff and learning something completely brand new.
She definitely has learned the word no.
Yeah, she's got a little attitude.
How old is she now?
She's almost 2. She'll be 2 in June, but I can't be mad at her when she gets sassy because that's 100% from me. Marco's like the most patient.
It's a hard life I live.
Non-attitude person, and she gets it all from me. So he's very
awesome.
Lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of your daughter, I know y'all mentioned babysitter. What time did y'all need before 4:20?
Well, just 4:20.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
I thought y'all had to be back.
Well, just as long as we're leaving.
We need to be
by
back by
4:20.
5, so we're
we still got time.
Mm-hmm.
We got like 15 minutes.
Well, what else would y'all like to share? Let's see.
Well, I mean, there's so in the real estate realm, there's a lot of people that are looking into investing and wholesaling because they're trying to, in essence, generate their own freedom through money, through finances, financial freedom. And a lot of it is, this is a process. There's definitely been some ups and downs, a lot of heartaches, a lot of struggles, a lot of frustrations, especially in the beginning, not having certainty to when funds were going to be coming in and what that was going to look like, or even if it was going to be enough. However, the power of us doing it together, when I'm weak, she's strong, and when she's weak, I'm strong, is important and has been beneficial for us. But also just facing our fears to accomplish the overall goal has been something that has been the fundamental component that has allowed us to continue to move forward in the direction that has allowed us to accomplish what we have. And for a lot of people, fear is...
fear stops people from
Yes.
making that leap out of the corporate world and following their passion.
But fear is good. When you face your fear, you're pushing your comfort zone. It means you're growing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to be a millionaire, you have to become a millionaire. You transform as a person.
I don't think you necessarily have to be a millionaire. I think if you just want to be happy in your life, like you want to have that own stableness, your own peace of mind, like it doesn't matter whether it's a millionaire, whether it's owning a bunch of land. It's just a matter of what you feel in your heart and your mind, as long as you're happy and everything that you're doing is making you happier and happier.
Yeah, you're completely right. I mean, but to achieve that, you change as a
person.
person.
Yeah, you have to change as a person. You can't just settle. You can't just keep hoping that the next day is going to be different. You have to actually, it starts with
creating good habits.
Well, creating good habits, and it starts with the individual, and then for y'all, not only your individual, but working as a team to create a successful business. So
I try and be good to help her be better, and she does a good job of trying to help me improve.
And we're good because we're like opposites in some things. Like when we first met, we had like a lot of like all of the big items that couples need to know about.
Move your mic down a little bit, just so it's not blocking her face.
There we go.
All the big items that you need to talk about when you have a relationship, like we were pretty much fundamentally on the same page about everything. So that was already like easy from the beginning. Like how we want to raise kids, if we want to have kids, all of that, financial, everything was pretty much on point. But then there are things like I'm really, really organized. He can forget stuff sometimes, but then at the same time, he's more positive when it comes to like, for instance, when we stopped our normal jobs, I was probably more fearful in the financial side. Like I had never known what it was like to not have consistent income come in. So I had to really put a lot of faith in him and that he was going to like lead us down the right path. Because keep in mind, back when we first started doing this, I understood what real estate was about. I understood about wholesaling because he taught me some of it, but I hadn't actually physically done any of it myself. So I really was like behind on knowledge and experience. And so I had to really like make the effort to keep up. But I had to put a lot of blind faith in him that he was going to lead us down the right path. And so far,
it was just
we've been pretty successful.
I was like, drink this Kool-Aid and follow me. We can make it happen.
So we both have like skills and strengths and stuff that complement each other. So I think we make a really good team.
That's awesome. I mean, I think that's what every individual needs is a great partner in life, business, and whatever else comes your way. It's just sometimes a lot of people don't find that right partner. Sometimes you find a evil partner.
Yes.
That ends up screwing you in the end. So
that is true.
But I mean, you gotta just wait it. I mean,
not
wait it out. Be patient. Be patient, and just eventually someone will come your way.
Oh, yeah.
And also just don't settle. I think, you know, people don't want to be alone, so then they settle. Like I was married before I met Marco, and that was a terrible relationship. And I don't know, I just think at some point I was like, I'm unwilling to be this unhappy. There's got to be, I mean, even if it's me by myself and I'm single for a while, there's got to be somebody better out there, and their life has to be better than what this is now. So I had to make that hard decision to just walk away. But then it led me to Marco, who was like the most amazing person. So, you know, I think you have to like be strong and know you deserve better, and eventually it'll come. Yeah. But I think, you know, the bad relationships also teach us what we won't put up with anymore and what we are looking for. So I think we grow from that. I never saw my divorce as a failure. I saw it as like a blessing because I learned so much in that relationship.
Yeah. About what you're looking for and then who you are too.
Exactly. And I grew just so much from the time I met my ex-husband to the divorce. And so like when I got into the relationship with Marco, I just knew I was a better person because I wasn't, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say it was my ex-husband. Like it was both of us. We both had faults and we were both immature in some things. So it was like I had a big wake-up call, and so it was just really taking ownership for the things that I could be doing better as well. And so I wanted to make sure those mistakes didn't happen with Marco, and just to be better in the next relationship.
Yeah, and that's the main important thing is that change is sometimes necessary, and it's not always bad. A lot of people are afraid to change because they get used to a lifestyle that they've been living, and they're afraid that it's going to inhibit that lifestyle. So people get comfortable, essentially. They get lazy.
Complacent.
Yeah. And that's why a lot of people are afraid to make that change. It's hard to take a big chance, especially something that could change your life in the direction that may seriously go bad. But do I want to be sitting in this office every day for the rest of my life? No.
Exactly. Exactly.
And the answer isn't necessarily like starting your own business.
No,
it could be just finding your dream job.
You know? Finding your dream job. Like, there's a lot of people that just lifeguard. Like, lifeguard at pools, or people serving food, like hot dogs, foods. I mean, there's a bunch of Instagram businesses where they they do barbecue cook-offs. They cook fried chicken. They deliver. Like,
photographers who travel the world. Yeah. I mean, it's just people following their passion.
Crazy.
You have to take that leap to know you're going on a unconventional path.
Yeah.
But that it's okay. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing, and typically what everyone else is doing is what people don't want to be doing anyway once they're doing it.
It's the norm. It's
exactly. It's like the conveyor belt. You're just going down it because that's what you think you're supposed to do. That's what you're taught, you know, in school. Like, you go from elementary to middle to high school to college, and then you get a job and you work your way up the ladder and work there for 20 plus years. I guess people don't really do that anymore. People kind of move around, but still that's the same concept of let's work till we retire. And I don't want to work till I'm 70. That's
kind of like the path I took when I was studying geology, because I was like, well, geology, I'm always reading things about them being outside. I'm like, well, I love being outside. I want to be outside all the time. And fortunate enough, I am outside. I mean, it took a little while where I was working on rigs and I was sitting inside the trailer just looking at rocks as they were coming out of the rig on the conveyor belt. And let me tell you, sitting for 12 hours for 3 weeks in a row sucks.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, you get a lot of back problems, and just if you don't if you don't do something to stay in shape, like you go out of shape quick because you're just eating processed foods all the time.
Yeah.
It's real bad. I'm glad I got out of that situation. Now I get to see the countryside, which I love.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And Texas has a beautiful countryside.
Yeah, some areas. I'm assigned some areas. There, I wish I had more northwestern, just because that hill country area is just beautiful to go through, even drive through. Just go on a Saturday, Sunday. Real beautiful out there. Well, it's getting pretty close. How about we wrap things up here right now?
All right.
And where can people get a hold of y'all?
The best way to get a hold of us is on Facebook. You can either find us on our personal pages, which is Marco A. Romero and Hillary W. Romero, or you can find us on Hilco Homes Facebook. We do have, if you just type in HILCO Homes, also Bella Buyers. We have all the pages for all of these. So if you want to find us some way, message us on any of those Facebook sites.
We're open books. So if anybody wants to reach out to us with just like questions or anything, we are always glad to help. You know, it's all about creating win-win relationships, and we try and give back and help others as much as possible.
What about an Instagram account? Y'all have an Instagram business account, anything like that?
He has like 4 pictures on his Instagram.
Yeah, I got way more than 4. I got like 20. Okay?
You can reach out to me on Instagram.
She's more active.
I'm definitely more active, but it's a lot of photos of my daughter. But you can still follow me.
What's your username?
I'm trying to find. I don't even know. That's how sad it is. Let me check real quick. It's just Hillary W. Romero. Pretty easy.
We do have a Hilco Homes and a Bella Buyers Instagram, but we're not as active. We're definitely active on Facebook.
We're way more. We're the most active on Facebook, so you can still reach out to us on Instagram.
Sure.
I'll make sure to check it.
Build on Instagram. Instagram, you get a lot more followers a lot quicker.
Yeah, that's true.
And then those tags really help bring up the numbers. So I mean, it's up to y'all.
Oh no, definitely have to.
I know you're the social media guy.
Just haven't yet.
We need to hire somebody to do that.
Yeah, we need more help.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the announcement I told you I was going to make this coming Saturday for my podcast, it's not going to be here in the studio. It's going to be at the New Worlds Gym that's open on 410 at Ingram. And basically going to do a live stream probably for not too long, probably about an hour. And it's just going to be all the trainers coming on, talking their experiences.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
What they coach, the people that they help, just sharing their stories, sharing their experiences. So
you'll be out in the field making it happen.
Yeah, I'll be out in the field. We'll see how it turns out. It's it's exciting, but I'm all like, I hope I worked out all the bugs.
Yeah, the chances for something to go a little off goes up exponentially when you leave
when you leave the habit, the habitat. Oh man. But
that's exciting. With this Saturday?
This Saturday should be about 12:30, somewhere around that
YouTube
time.
Live?
YouTube Live.
All right. Well, if we physically can't be there, then we will have to support
you
at least in
just
Avatar World YouTube.
Yeah, just tune in. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. The podcast will be available
appreciate y'all.
On iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Podbean. So y'all be nice out there to one another. Take care. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.